What's going on, guys? It's Jay Camara here with the fourth episode of Flashback Friday. This is Battlefield Bad Company 2. Me and Ryan, who's also here.
Hello.
We tried to upload this last week, but for some reason it was too large. Like, it was about 40 minutes long, and the YouTube editor, the YouTube uploader wouldn't just upload it. It would time out before it finished. So we're going to try it again this week. We're going to do Battlefield Bad Company 2, like I said, and we trimmed it down to about 15 minutes, so it's still going to be a little long, but it's definitely a lot shorter than before. We're taking the same recording as last time, so we're basically just going to cut it out in the middle of it. If you guys want, comment down below, and I'll just upload the rest of it as just like a normal, non-commentary file. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So, Battlefield Bad Company 2 was released for the 360, PlayStation 3, and the PC, as well as there's a port for iOS. And it was released back in March, and it ran the Frostbite 1.5 engine, which was introduced with Battlefield 1943, which was the arcade game we talked about a couple weeks ago. So, what do you think about this game?
I remember when I just got this game and it was like totally different from like any Call of Duty you would play. It's like more objective based and not kill based, and you don't really want to care about your kills and deaths. It feels a lot different than Call of Duty, but I think it's you can't really compare each other, like the two games together, because this one, as I said, is objective based and the other one's kill based.
Yeah, what's pretty interesting about this one is that there's actually, unlike Battlefield 3 where it was added, there's actually no team deathmatch mode in this. So the modes are basically Conquest, Rush, and then there's Squad Rush, which and then Squad Deathmatch. Squad Deathmatch is basically four teams of four pitted out against like a smaller version of a Conquest or Rush map, and it's pretty cool. It's definitely a lot more tactical than the normal team deathmatch because you only have 4 players and you really have to work together as a team. One of the interesting parts of the classes in this is that in Battlefield 3, the Assault Kit was kind of like your medic type kit where you could put down like a med kit or use the defibrillators. In this, the Assault Kit is actually just your normal, you still have the Assault Rifle, but then you have a grenade launcher, and then you have an ammo kit. And then the Support class is the Medic class, so that's the one where you can heal people and revive people, and then Engineer and Sniper are kind of the same, except Sniper or Recon. Recon actually has C4, so it's a little bit different than past Battlefield games with the normal Battlefield games, like now, like with Battlefield 3.
Yeah. If you're coming, because I came in 2010, 2011. This was my first Battlefield game, and so it felt really normal to me. But then most people might have Battlefield 3 first, and then go back to this game just to go back to the roots, and it'll feel a lot different. I mean, it's really what I found was just like sensitivity in this is like halfway. Sensitivity in this is like none in Battlefield 3, so it feels kind of clunky, but the game is it just feels normal when you get used to it, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit clunkier than Battlefield 3 in that just the engine is extremely different. It doesn't really look anything like Frostbite 2. It doesn't look as realistic. It's still a really good game, and the graphics are really nice. But it's a very different experience than Battlefield 3. DICE kind of changed up the Battlefield formula with Battlefield 3. So like Ryan said, coming from Battlefield 3, which is a later game, like a game that came out closer to this time, it definitely will feel a little bit different. I got this game because I was browsing Games on Demand, and it was actually available on Games on Demand. There was a sale, and it was $15. So I decided to get it, and then I got the Vietnam expansion pack too because that was half off. So I like this game quite a bit. We've been playing it a little bit. The way you customize your weapons is a little bit different. There's no sub menu where you can go and put in like red dot sight suppressors, foregrips, all that kind of stuff. In this, you basically have your weapon, which you can select from like a side-scrolling menu. And then you can attach different specializations, and one of those are a 4x optic sight and a red dot sight. So there's a lot less weapon customization, and because of that there's just a lot less customization and less to work for, but it's still a game with quite a bit of progression and unlocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, it does. I'm not sure if this takes longer to rank up than Battlefield 3, but it does. Like in Battlefield games, it takes a while to rank up. it's not as easy as like Call of Duty to rank up, you know. But
Yeah, you're not gonna see a lot of level like 100 people in this gameplay. I'm like only level like 5 or 6 or something, and I say that I've played this game a moderate amount. I haven't like played it not at all, but I haven't played it as much as Battlefield 3, obviously. It's definitely a game that DICE really wanted people to be playing for as long as possible, so they introduced it just showed a lot of customization, but you have to work for quite a long time to unlock it.
yeah, there are not as many weapons or optics or stuff like that. Like attachments, I don't even think there's any more attachments besides switching out grenade launchers, because you have to have a grenade launcher on your assault rifle at all times, depending if it's like a shotgun or something. But that's really all you can do. Engineers also, by the way, you can't take off the silencer on all those guns. They're made with them.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting. So as you can see right here, I'm using the AKS-47U with the I'm just using the normal iron sights because I actually like the iron sights on this gun. You definitely can't pick out targets at long range, but it's pretty good for close range. But yeah, it has a suppressor on it, and it basically just came like that. And every single gun has it. Like I've used the Scar a lot, which is also for the engineer class, and that has the suppressor too, which is pretty interesting. Like I could see why, but it's just kind of strange how they had to put that on there.
Yeah,
So there's quite a few different like changes that DICE made from Battlefield Bad Company 2 to Battlefield 3. One of which is in Bad Company 2 there are helicopters, but there are no jets. So the maps are not gonna you're not gonna see as large as Battlefield 3 because there's no need to have jets on the map. And also one interesting fact is in Battlefield 3 every single map can be played in all the different game modes, except for we're not talking about DLC with like close quarters with conquest domination and all that. Like all the base maps can play all the base game modes, and so you can play in Caspian Border, you can go in and play conquest, but then you can also play rush and team deathmatch on it. In this, there's certain maps for certain game modes. So right now we're playing on a rush map, but then this map can't be played in conquest. You can play on a conquest map, but it's not available in rush. So there's definitely a lot less maps in Battlefield Bad Company 2, but even though there are like the same amount, it just seems a lot less because the maps can't really change and adapt as much.
right.
So the RPG in this is actually really powerful. You just saw me try to take out that tank. I haven't been able to kill a lot of people by just shooting helicopters because it's got a really nice sight on it, and there's not much recoil. Like it doesn't go down at all. So you can actually really pick off helicopters, which is pretty cool. I've been able to do that and help out my team quite a few times.
Yeah, in the limited edition, I think, which I have, it gives you like a code to automatically unlock early a target locator, which is kind of like it's like a little pistol that can shoot out a targeting device onto like a moving object, and then a rocket launcher like an RPG or whatever else they have in this game. I think there's two other ones. They can just lock on and then shoot down a helicopter. But besides that, the RPG can pretty much do it by itself. But then also in this, like the portable AT rockets, there's a rocket launcher that you can control and where it goes. It's not like locking on, but you can control where the missile will follow.
Yeah. So right now I think let's talk about DLC and the different game modes a little bit. In this game, the base game came with the multiplayer, the normal Battlefield Bad Company 2 multiplayer, and also a pretty good campaign where all of the soldiers from Bad Company returned from the original to not really wrap up the story. The story doesn't. It's not really. It has kind of an ending, but it doesn't really end. It kind of just like stops. So that's definitely probably to make room for a possible Battlefield Bad Company 3 in the future. And then with DLC, they added Onslaught mode, which is basically your equivalent to. I would actually compare it more to combat training than horde mode because you're not trying to like hold an area for as long as possible. It's kind of like rush where you have to like capture like MCOMs and then move up against AI opponents with up to 4 other real people like from online. And that was available for pretty cheap. I think it was like $5, so it's not a very big expansion pack. And then there's also different VIP map packs added over time. So you basically, if you bought the game when it came out, you got this code, and you could basically get all these expansion packs, which were anything from maps to game modes to new attachments for weapons. And then in December 21st of 2010, actually 4 days before Christmas, they released the Vietnam expansion pack, which added 4 new maps, brand new weapons, vehicles, progression. It's basically a whole new game inside Battlefield Bad Company 2, which was available for $15. And what's pretty interesting about it is that unlike the expansion packs in Battlefield 3, where they come with new weapons, but then you never actually have to play the expansion pack to unlock them, save for a couple, like, play this many hours on one map or play this game mode. You never really have to go into that game. You never really have to play on those maps. So if I wanted to unlock the AUG 3, I never actually had to play the close quarters maps. I could just unlock it outside of it. But in Vietnam, you unlock them all at the beginning, but then you can't bring them back to the base game. So that's a little disappointing that they couldn't bring the Vietnam War era weapons back, which I know that what they're trying to do, like, this is like a modern game, and Vietnam is several, like, decades ago. So I could see what they were doing, but I kind of do wish that they gave the option to use those guns in normal multiplayer. So we really thought that this game was going to take, like, a lot less time, so that's one of the reasons that we split it in. Like, right here, as you can see, we're trying to fight off all the enemies, and we lose the objective at the last possible second. So in Battlefield Bad Company 2, the DICE definitely tried to make the games almost extremely long. Like, we were fighting here for a good, like I said, 40 minutes or so. And we didn't even, we joined the game in progress, so it wasn't the complete start of it. And it just took forever. So in Battlefield 3, I think it's definitely more focused on, like, shorter engagements. Like, you can now, with, of course, customizable servers on consoles, you can change, like, having the amount of tickets. You can make a game really, really short, and then you can make it really, really long, and tons of stuff. So, what do you think about all the DLC, like, packs and what they added with Bad Company 2 versus what they added with Battlefield 3 so far?
I think that they were actually fair in this kind of DLC in these games. It might just be because they're cheaper now, but since it's been, I don't know, 2 years. But I think they're more fair with what you get in the packs and all that kind of stuff, because it's, it's objective-based game. You get to play on those maps for a long time, more maps for you to play on. But in Battlefield 3, it's kind of like, now that they introduced premium, it's just really like, in my opinion, they're just saying you're only good if you get premium, because you get all these maps, you get all these guns, and then anyone else who doesn't have premium is not allowed to have those guns or maps.
Yeah, it is pretty weird how they and cool for premium members that you have to wait 2 weeks if you don't get it, and then of course premium member if you don't get premium, and then you have to you can't get the strategy guides or videos or weapon camos or dog tags. So they definitely focused on. They've been focusing quite a bit on premium, and I understand why they're trying to compete with Activision's Call of Duty Elite service, but I do think that they could have made it a little bit more fair, like, maybe had a little less, maybe you could get it 1 week in advance, because I think that 2 weeks is a pretty long time, especially for a map pack, because, like, some of my friends who got it just normally, I'd already played it a lot for 2 weeks by the time that they got it, so I was kind of already bored of the expansion, and then, of course, I didn't want to play with them as much, so, I definitely think they should change that out a little bit, but I think, the DLC in Battlefield Bad Company 2 is all around really good. I liked the Vietnam expansion pack, and it's interesting how, like, you can't bring your weapons back, and it seems like it's a completely different game than Battlefield Bad Company 2, but I do like it, and I think you should probably get this game if you're into Battlefield. If you like those kind of games, then I would go out and get it. But especially if you've only played Battlefield 3 and you want to get this, expect a completely different experience, because Frostbite 1.5 and Frostbite 2 are two completely different game engines. So do you want to say anything to get out?
Just the fact that you're going to have a blast playing this game. I mean, it's different from Battlefield 3, which we've been saying, but you're going to have a blast playing this if you had fun playing Battlefield 3, because one of my favorite missions, actually, that gives you kind of a good thrill about this game, I think it's White Pass is the name or something. That's probably the name of the deathmatch version, but when you're playing Rush, the attacking team always gets to jump off of an airplane if you're starting in the beginning and everyone just parachutes down out of the ground, and it just gives you that really cool feeling with like being paratroopers and airborne and just jumping.
Yeah, so that's basically the end of this episode. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit more. We're hoping to actually start like a Halo type Flashback Friday next week when we're going to be talking about every single Halo up to the latest one being Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, in celebration of Halo and anticipation of Halo 4 coming out. So stay tuned for that. I'm hoping to have up some more videos in the next week, and hopefully we're going to try to continue our Battlefield 3 co-op Let's Play walkthrough type thing as well. So if you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and we will see you guys later. Peace out.
So yeah.